If you've been trying to get into the TikTok Creator Rewards program but you live outside the US, you're in the right place. The Creator Rewards program goes crazy right now, as we're seeing all these creators making thousands of dollars while you're stuck because TikTok says the program isn't available in your country. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to access the Creator Rewards from any country in the world when normally not eligible. I'm gonna walk you through my full proven method step by step so you can make money with this program, being able to withdraw your money to your own bank account without ever getting banned. Now here's the thing, if you watched other videos on this topic, you've probably seen people telling you to just use a basic VPN and create an account. Now let me save you some time, that doesn't work anymore. TikTok has gotten way better at detecting VPNs, and even if you manage to create an account, you won't be able to withdraw any money. I've seen so many people waste months building up their account only to find out they can't actually get paid. That's why in this video, I'm gonna show you the methods that actually work for withdrawing your money, not just creating accounts. Now I will take you through every single step, but don't skip anything though. And the most common advice for this problem was just use a VPN and it will work, and doing this will absolutely not work. When you're using a regular VPN like this is the problem. You're sharing your IP address with thousands of other users. So on Monday you get IP1, then Tuesday another one, then another one, then another one. And TikTok's algorithm is smart enough to detect this pattern that you're using a VPN. And when they detect this, they'll either shadow ban your account or prevent you from joining the Creator Rewards program. But even if you somehow manage to get accepted, you often cannot even withdraw your money. They often shadow ban accounts or restrict you from joining the program. That's why we need a more sophisticated method that TikTok can detect. So let's get into the actual solution. What we need is one static IP address of the United States. This is one IP all the time, only used by you. Now this is very different from a regular VPN, as you can see right here, as it's always one IP only used by you all the time, which makes it that TikTok and your phone cannot detect that you're using a VPN. And I have this set up on my phone and PC as well, where I simply have a dedicated IP I can connect to, and I can use this and access internet. Now the way you would want to get this dedicated static IP is using a service with a dedicated IP setup. You can also do very complicated proxy setup that works as well, but for me and for most people the easiest is just to get a dedicated IP from a site like NordVPN. And personally I use NordVPN without any issues, and I'll show you how that works. Basically in your account you can go to dedicated IP and then set it up and then select from any of these locations. Obviously you want to select a US one, so you can choose Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and then set it up. And then after that you get your own IP address in your location. In this case I chose Miami, with your own server, and no one else is using this IP address, which makes it that sites on your phone cannot detect that you're using a VPN. Now for this exact setup I'll leave a link down below. When you click on that link, it will bring you here where you can click on Get NordVPN. And now it's important that you just choose any basic plan and then here add the dedicated IP to the list, as that is what we need. Once you got that set up, then we need to go to step 2, and that is factory resetting your phone, as we need to configure our phone as if it's from the US. So we need to trick TikTok that we're from the US. So first go ahead and do that. What I would recommend is getting a spare phone to do this with. You could do this on your personal phone. I personally have this on a spare phone I bought from eBay for just 20 bucks. Then we need to insert a US SIM card, so apps on your phone detect a US SIM card, which again puts a link to the US. Now you can easily buy travel SIMs from websites like Amazon. I'll leave a link down below as well. I bought this one from Amazon 2 years ago, and it makes your phone and TikTok think you're from the US. The SIM doesn't need to work, it can be deactivated, and you don't want to use this number for anything. The only purpose is to trick your phone and the apps that you're in the US. Then step 4, you want to set up and configure your phone as US based. So go through the setup process, obviously country US, language English, also set the time zone to US, also choose the imperial system over the metric system, set everything as if you're from the US, right? Then step 5 is you want to change the time zone of your phone to the time zone of your static IP. So in the step earlier right here, let's say you got a Miami IP, then you also want to change the time zone to that IP. So here, if you got New York, change it to the New York time zone, Miami, LA, basically that, right? Then make sure your static IP is always on. If you turn it off sometimes, you go to TikTok, they will again detect that you're using different IPs, which can easily tell them you're using a VPN. and tricking the system basically. Also never remove the SIM card. That's also a really important part. That's also what TikTok sees. And this is also why I recommend to do this on a new phone, because if you're doing this on your personal phone, it's quite a hassle, right? Then step 6, after you set up your phone, you got the VPN installed, you got the configuration correct, and you go to TikTok and you select phone. If it says US +1, you did it correctly and TikTok thinks you're in the US. Now, this was the phone setup first, and this is essential. You cannot skip any of this. And once you've done that, we can go to the next step, which is basically the part of joining the TikTok Creator Rewards program from the beginning, right? So the requirements are join from an eligible country. If you follow the steps above, that will apply as we trick our phone to be from the US. You need at least 10k followers, 100,000 views in the last 28 days. You need to abide by the content rules, and we need a US ID. And we also need US banking details and tax information, which I will get to later. Now first, let's focus on this. We can go ahead and create and grow an account from scratch to 10k followers, 100,000 views. That would be possible, but also we need a US ID. And an option for that is to buy an already verified and already approved account on the site, right? So this is what many people do. You can buy an already verified account with an ID based in the US, which you can start making money from straight away, and link your bank information, which I'll get to later. However, if you buy an account like this and you skip the US phone setup I explained earlier, TikTok will eventually remove you from the program and revert back to your own country. So I live in the Netherlands, and if I would just get this, put it on my Dutch phone, it would not work, right? Okay, now let's focus on the ID part, which is really important, because to join the program, you need an ID verification that's required. So the easiest solution to that is to buy an account that is already verified in the beginning, which you could do from these websites, or you could request verification of someone else. And the easiest for that is straight up, no shit Sherlock, partner up with a US friend. If you have a friend or a family member you could do this with in the US, that is the best. They can verify the account and then you can configure it so you can get paid. Or there also are communities online to find a partner and make an agreement. There are TikTok affiliate and creator rewards program Discord, same with Telegram groups, where you can connect with people and make a plan to share revenue, right? So they verify the account, they come up with this, you upload all the content and you come up with a rev share. That's a real thing, and there are many people based in the US who do this as it's just easy money for them, right? Or also in the comments down below, you can connect with people. As I know from both sides, there will be many people who want to help each other out. Then once you get all of this, you can go ahead and apply for the program right here. Now I'll also show you that this actually works. So when I go to TikTok on my personal phone, right here, I can go to TikTok Studio right here, and then it loads. And then I go to monetization. As you can see, it does not show the Creator Rewards program and also doesn't show the affiliate feature for TikTok Shop. However, when I do the exact same thing on my American phone, go to TikTok Studio right here, then I hover over to monetization, just like that. You can see TikTok Shop for Seller and the Creator Rewards program do show up because I configured this account for the US, right? So as we can see, we can now join once I'm eligible. But now let's hover over to the most important part probably, and that is how do you get paid? Because in order to get paid, you need US tax information, you need a US bank account, and a little more things. And that is what I want to show you right here. In order to get paid and completing the tax form, we need a US bank account and other documents. For this, the only way and the best way is to set up a US entity. And this might sound very difficult, but it's actually much easier than you think. Step 1 for this is getting the necessary information and documents. And what you need is 1, a US LLC, an EIN number, an ITIN number, and a US bank account. And anyone can open an LLC as a foreigner in the US. Then finally, we use all of the documentation to apply for the TikTok Creator Rewards program as a legitimate US business. Now to open a business like that, I personally recommend using an agent, and the agent I recommend is Northwest. So let me walk you through the process of how that would work. And the total cost for this setup is going to be around $200 to $300. That might be a stretch for some of you, but you can also use this business for other things as well. Now on Nordwest, and I'll leave a link down below to get to this page as well, we first need to choose a state where we want to open the LLC. And the two most popular options for online businesses are Wyoming and Delaware. Wyoming is generally cheaper, has the most privacy protection, and 0% taxes for non-US residents. For TikTok, I also recommend Wyoming, and we can select that right here. The cost is lower, the privacy protection is better, and TikTok doesn't really care which state your LLC is formed, as long as it's a legitimate US entity. So we can click on Hire Nordwest right here. Then right here with the states, obviously we have selected only Wyoming all the way at the bottom. And for the company, we can name it a company, anything. I just put test, LLC, we select no. And for contact information, just fill in your information, for the account information as well. And then we have optional items, and many people say, oh, you need a phone service, a business email, you need mail forwarding. This is all not necessary. We just need the basics for the address and the LLC. Then once you make the payment and it's done, Nordwest will now set up their LLC and will send the documents to you. And then once your LLC is formed, you need to get the EIN number and item number from the IRS, and you can request these from Nordwest as well, and they will handle the process for you. Then once you have gone through this setup process, you now have your US LLC in Wyoming plus the business address, your EIN number and item number, and the only thing left from this point is a US bank account. And many people think you actually need to go to the US in order to open a bank account. Luckily, that's not the case. There are many fintech banks like Mercury and Relay, which I recommend, where you can open an account from abroad. Mercury is the bank that I would recommend. You can easily open an account and then fill in the details that you got from the LLC setup, your EIN number, your item number, your LLC setup, and then you get your own bank account. Once you got that, we are at the last step, and that is applying, adding the business and tax information on TikTok. So this is basically how it will look like. You can apply for the program, you can join that program, then you need to fill in your tax information, your name, date of birth, and then select business account, select your name. This is where you want to fill in the business information, United States, LLC, enter your name, phone number, then give the item number as requested, then also upload your EIN confirmation letter from the IRS. And once you've done that, you can add your bank account, which will be the bank account from Mercury or Relay or whatever bank you choose. Account number, name, routing number, account number. And then from that moment, you can start getting paid in your own US bank account from TikTok while you don't live in that country. This is what personally friends of mine use as well. This is pretty much how that looks like. You can link this to YouTube. Basically anything you can use this for within the US, as you now have your own company, tax-free, as Wyoming, if you have an LLC there, does not tax non-US residents. Now this is pretty much the setup, and if you guys would like a step-by-step guide of how I do this live instead of on the whiteboard, please comment that down below, as I'll be down to do that. I know it's quite a big setup, you need to do a lot of things to do this right, but TikTok does crack down on these things, and this is currently the only legal setup that you can do in order to get paid. Now for the correct setup to set up your LLC for TikTok, I'll leave an ebook down in the description below as well as all the links to NordVPN, Nordwest, the eSIMs, everything down below. In case this helped you out, please leave a like, please subscribe, and see you next time. Have a good day.